Hello, everyone. Welcome to Moon Mage. Today's tarot messages are connected to the new moon in Scorpio that's happening on the 20th or the 19th, depending on where you are. It's the 20th here. This is pick an image tarot messages. So you probably noticed on the thumbnail and in the intro that there was 4 images for you to choose from. I always tell everybody to not overthink it. Just allow your intuition to guide you to the one that's drawing you in, and that will be your message. Connecting you to what types of energies, potential challenges, guidance and advice that wants to be showing up for you or could be showing up for you at the time of this new moon. So, this can start for days, or well, rather days leading up to the new moon, and then last for the next couple of weeks. So this energy isn't just potent on the day of the new moon. It could be for some of you, but it's more likely over a 2 to 3 week period. So keep that in mind. I do like to give a brief overview about what each moon cycle, lunar cycle is bringing in for the collective. So if you're interested, you can have a listen to this. I'm going to talk about that now. Otherwise, go on ahead and choose your image, and then those will be your messages connecting to you to what may be showing up for you at this new moon. I'm trying really hard to not bumble and stumble over all my words. We're in Mercury retrograde, and funnily enough, I'm really finding it is affecting me and my communication, and that is a part of the equation. I'm stumbling over words a lot more lately, so I do apologize in advance if that's the case. Okay, so this new moon in Scorpio energy is water energy for those of you that don't know that. And every new moon, because this is a new moon cycle, brings in something new. It sort of brings in epiphanies, truths, understanding, wisdom, if we allow. And with this new moon in particular, it's really highlighting things in the areas of like intimacy, sexuality, assets, and investments too. And it wants us to help. It wants us to see rather how we need to fix any imbalances. It really to release things that are very outdated that we're clinging on to for dear life. It's kind of like as we near the end of the year, we're getting towards that last push to really let go. And this new moon, because it's in Scorpio and Scorpio governs death and rebirth, and it's really good actually for seeing the truth around things, really connecting to our intuition. So you could find spiritual and mystical experiences really amplified around now, where you really feel like you're connecting to something higher, getting a lot of intuitive hits. That's a really positive thing that this new moon energy could bring in. It's not a bad one for sitting with ourselves and making space for meditation, reflection, and contemplation, because it really will help to bring answers. We're likely to receive them under this lunation. It isn't the best though for signing on a dotted line, making a commitment without actually taking time to consider it, to really go over it, mull it over, think about it, think it through, contemplate whether this is the best thing for us. So something to keep in mind. Same with communication, because we have that Mercury retrograde happening right now. If you need to have an important conversation, this might not be the best time to do it. So if you're able to sort yourself out, really get clear with your intentions and wait a week or two to have a really important conversation, that's probably best. Sometimes we can avoid that. So if you're somebody who's like, no, I need to have a really important conversation with my friends, my family, my coworkers, I would say do your best to be very grounded and centered in doing it, and speak with as much love and compassion as you can so that it lands well on others, because this can be a really hard time for communication and getting our points across. Emotions will be running very high, and people are more likely to get in their feelings rather than use their logic when they're receiving a message that might not be the best. So this is just something to consider. I made some notes. I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything here. We're really being asked under this lunation to move towards our deepest desires, to really draw that line in the sand and say, I really need to sit with myself and figure out 100% if I want to go in this direction, how I need to fix these imbalances in my life and actually come up with solutions to start moving towards betterment in these areas of my life. And that can be different for all of you. So these messages will connect to what those things are, those final pushes, those final things that need to be released or brought back into balance. And a lot of you could experience this through intuition, and that's hard to trust because it's not a fact, it's a feeling. But I do think that you should be trusting what comes through for you at this time, because again, a lot of us are going to be far more open particularly this week when it comes to receiving ideas and inspiration and information. Also, on the darker side of this moon, we could hear some difficult truths, especially on the world stage, or even within our own personal lives. And so being prepared for that, being prepared to respond rather than react, good idea. I know there's something else that I feel like I need to say about this that I'm forgetting to say. There is, on the positive side, there is a lot of potential for major change, transformation, and growth. And this is the beginning point. This lunation can bring in that kind of energy in a really big way. It could also ask us to make a major shift, meaning that we have to pivot and adapt really quickly. So those are things to consider under this lunation as well. Okay, I'm not going to ramble on anymore about that. If you haven't already, give yourself a second to go look at those images. Don't overthink it. See which one is calling you in. And I'm going to get started here with message number 1. Hello to all my beautiful message 1 choosers. I went ahead and pulled the main overarching energies for you guys just to save a little bit of time in the video, but we're going to look at them together. I mentioned in my intro, so if you're watching this and you didn't watch my intro, this Mercury retrograde is really affecting my speech. I'm a little bit too redundant and tripping over words, so I'm apologizing in advance because no matter how hard I try, I seem to still be doing that. Okay, moon circles and support, main energy for you guys that's coming in. On the side of challenge, we have moon flower and it says take a risk. And then we've got that compass up there, right? So this is going to be something that's going to help with directions, choosing directions wisely. And we've got moon set, interesting. Moon circles, moon flower, moon set, releasing. Okay. Releasing, letting go. So this is the biggest invitation under this lunation, is finally letting go of something that stops or blocks you from taking that risk. So it's likely some kind of fear or worry or anxiety, and something to do with support, lacking support. And that could look like people or, financially feeling like, well, I can't do these things because, so always kind of keeping yourself back or in some sort of safety or comfort because you feel like you don't have the support that you need. Again, whether that's people or money. And we need to release some sort of lack mentality, I feel, here for my message 1 choosers, because there's something that you're meant to move towards where there is going to feel like a risk for you. But if it's showing up like this, it's worth it. You're worthy of it. And this thing is worthy of you, if that makes sense. All right, let's pull a surrender card. I don't know why, but for some of you, I'm feeling anxiety. And I have a really warm heart space. So I don't know if there's something held in your heart that needs to be released that stops or blocks you from taking a risk or finding the support that you need or receiving, being comfortable with receiving. Okay. Yeah, anxiety. Surrender to inner peace. Cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. Yeah. We're holding on to some fear and anxiety, I think, here. And it's blocking you. I feel like not just in the sense of taking a risk and moving towards what you really want, but I think it's blocking you from even seeing more truths about what you could be doing and the risks that you could be taking that really are worthy of you and that you're worthy of. I don't know why I keep coming back to that word worthy. Maybe some of you just don't feel worthy, and that's an underlying issue. That's a pattern, something in your energetic body that tells you I don't deserve this or I'm not worthy of this, like imposter syndrome. So making space for inner peace, this lunation is so good for that. It's really, really good for connecting to the spiritual realm as well. So, taking some time to ask them to help you release these things, to see the truth of them, to help you let go of the patterns that keep you stuck in a particular pattern where you're not seeing as much growth and joy and peace and centeredness as you'd like, because you definitely got a direction, excuse me, showing up for you. that you're meant to take. All right. And my voice just got all funny now. Excuse me. I was saying that Mercury retrograde has been affecting my speech, and so I'm trying to be very mindful of my speech. But I'm wondering if some of you also have something where that you're meant to say or express and you haven't been, because my throat got a little tight there as well. Dark wisdom. Find strength and clarity in solitude and trust the value of insights you gain. Silent watch. I think that you're a very intuitive person. Message one, if you landed on this, I think you normally are, but there's a lot of, again, fear, worry, anxiety. I feel lack of worthiness and imposter syndrome for some of you that's acting as a block. And it's not just, in the third eye or the crown or anything of that nature. I feel like it starts in the heart, some sort of heartbreak or pain that has potentially caused this issue within you. But it's time to rectify that, because you're meant to move towards something where there is some risk involved. I think that when you take that leap, you're going to be supported. It probably doesn't feel like that, though. Find strength and clarity in solitude and trust the value of insights you gain. Silent watch. For my message ones, you are probably going to have a lot of success if you actually give yourself over to meditation this week. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, sitting in quiet. Even if you don't want to put on the music and do a guided meditation, just sitting with yourself, I think you're going to receive a lot of answers. Dark wisdom there. But really making space for this inner peace this week is going to be a really good idea, because I feel like it broadens your horizons exponentially. Exponentially is what I'm feeling for you guys. I don't know why. Maybe this is just going to be a message for one of you, a few of you. I don't know, but I feel like I keep wanting to say, who hurt you? Who hurt you, or your heart, or your belief in yourself? There's something there in that story for somebody there. There's a narrative, there's a pattern now where you're almost believing what somebody said or did, and now operating from a system of lack and less than. I think that might be a story worth looking at. You don't want to bring that forward with you. Connections, partnerships, contract, and commitment. Support. Yeah. This has been a real big challenge for a lot of you. And it's really hard to be our own cheerleader and champion and keep ourselves motivated when we have no one else around us saying, I believe in you. And I think that that's been an issue for a lot of you. Right, especially with support. And then we've got connections here on the side of challenge. Oh my goodness, teacher, learning a new path. Yeah, you're meant to follow some sort of intuitive thought, idea, inspiration that you've had, a nudge, essentially. I don't think that you are, but you're meant to be going on a new path and in a new direction. I feel like it's going to bring in all the energy that has been missing for you as well. And I am noticing the number 8, and 8 is connected to prosperity and abundance and karma. And everyone always thinks karma is bad, but for you, it feels like good karma, like finally receiving the right people and situations and support that you've been needing. Yeah, in reverse is balance, right? So upright, it would be centered energy and self-care. It's reverse. This is really important for you guys under this lunation especially. So when you see this video for the next, I'm going to say for you guys, at least a week afterwards, really creating time, energy, and space around, I need to be balanced. I need to be sorted out so that I'm preparing myself to take this risk, to receive the support and move towards this new path. It feels like a higher calling for a lot of you. Yeah. Shamanic healer, cleansing and attunement. Maybe some of you have been wondering, should I move towards or check out somebody who falls under the energy of a shaman or a Reiki healer, or listen to things online that have that kind of energy or frequency of releasing, I feel like you should, if you've had that thought, I think it'd be really beneficial for you. I also wonder if some of you are this, because we've got that crow up there too, saying dark wisdom. I wonder if some of you hold the energy of a healer, somebody who can heal, whether it's through herbs or hands or some other way. I think that some of you are going to be asked to step up into this role. And if you can get yourself sorted and balanced, kind of remove those patterns that keep you stopped and stuck and feeling like you can't take risks and that you're lacking in support, again, whether it's people or finances. I think it's both for some of you, but for others, I think more of you, it's to do with people around you giving you the support that you need. Okay. Archangel Raziel, wisdom, inspiration, and Akashic records. Wowzers. Okay, message 1, you have a lot of opportunity under this lunation to receive divine downloads and wisdom, to really hook in and connect to higher mind, to spiritual help, ancestors coming in, those that walk in spirit, wanting to bring you answers, help, and support, because it feels like it's so important that you guys move on this direction, into this new direction rather, where you're learning a new path. And with that word there, teacher and shamanic healer, there's definitely a connection here. I think some of you are meant to become some sort of psychic, holistic healer of sorts. You have the potential to embody the shaman. And that can take on so many forms. It could be literally like in a hospital setting, in a holistic setting, as a Reiki healer, as a healer who uses their words to heal others. There's so many ways, but there's a connection there for me. But there's probably some fear that stops you from fully moving towards that energy. Especially if it was brand new and a little woo-woo, and not everybody around you would support that line of, that kind of direction, essentially. On the bottom, we have past life guides in reverse. And it says karmic lessons and present assistance, and it's in reverse. But I feel like not this week for you guys. This is your week to call these things in, to understand things fully so that you can finally release them and not take them forward with you. I feel like a big upgrade psychically and spiritually is on the cards for you, quite literally. And this is the lunation to really connect into how to let go of what's not working and start taking those risks and moving on a new path where you're going to embody some sort of healer energy, I think. But I also think that there's a very practical message here that if some of you think you would benefit from seeing a healer of sorts and you're able to do it, I think it's also going to be something that's very helpful for you. Yeah, you have some guides that I feel want to come in, though, to help you with all of this right now. So do give yourself some time and space to call them in and connect with their energy. I almost wonder too, with this connections card, because it says partnership, contract, and commitments. Do some of you feel like you've made a commitment to someone or something and you feel like, well, because you're a very loyal person, I can't really back out of it. I would feel like I'm being a rotten person. That's not me. Even though you know in your heart and your soul that you're meant to move in a different direction and that it's genuinely okay for you to choose you first and choose what feels best for you, but maybe you're struggling with that. I feel like even if that person or these people or situations wouldn't understand, if you need to move in a different direction that feels good for you and aligned with you, it's going to be the right choice. And, they'll get over it eventually. And if they don't, you've got this life to live and you want to be able to get to the end of your life and say, I did all the things that I was called to do, regardless of the fear. Okay, that came out. Spiritual realm. Wow. 999. Loyalty, responsibility, truth, love, light, spiritual realm, growth and solutions. Yep. Applying honesty and light daily is a fast track to creating a peaceful and meaningful life. It's how you find solutions and comfort. Release worries by speaking your truth and expressing emotions regularly. Open up, for the best is yet to come. Wow. I love this. It's such a good reiteration of what's showing up here. Needing to release. You're going to be very open and have the ability to very much connect into divine wisdom this week. Your intuition will be on point and heightened, but you have to create that space for it. Spiritual realm is going to be loud for you. And I like that this says applying honesty and light, and finding solutions and comfort and releasing worries. I do think that there's a percentage of you that are fearing walking away from something you made a commitment to, even though you know it's not aligned with you anymore, and you're free to do so. It still might feel hard and uncomfortable, but you're really meant to take a risk and move in a new direction. This is absolutely like, if you're second guessing it, you don't need to. Okay, let's pull just a couple more cards to cap this off. Okay, your cards, they're just sort of like flipping out in a really weird way, but I'm going to go with it. Protection. Strong protective magic for the family and the home. Yeah, so maybe this is another cause of fear. What will it mean if I take these risks, if I move in this direction, if I put myself first for once, or if I, break free and take these risks? I feel like you are being protected and that you are safe, and this is just a reminder. Strong protective magic for the family and the home. Yeah, I think you are safe and protected, but if it makes you feel better, maybe allow yourself to create some sigils or put some sort of ritual or practice in place where you're really affirming that you are safe, that you're protected, that no harm can come to anyone that you care about, things of that nature. And then we've got sun. The golden energy of the sun brings fame and fortune. Wowzers. Yeah. But we have to be willing to release and let go of, I think, our fears, our worries, our anxieties, for sure. But I think also for some of you, a commitment that you might have made that's no longer serving you anymore. It's time to move in a new direction and choose what's best for you. And, I did say that my throat got really tight here too. I think that this card reiterated there's something that needs to be spoken. You might be holding back how you truly feel, and you need to be speaking that out. As this says, release worries by speaking your truth and expressing emotions regularly, right? Don't keep it all to yourself and bottle it all up. Let it out. And if you don't feel like you have somebody that you can do that with, write it down on a piece of paper and give it over to God, like in a God box type of scenario. Yeah, let go and let God. Give it over to them and say, okay, I'm going to trust. I know that I'm protected. I know that over time, if I move in this direction where there is a bit of risk involved for me, that this is my outcome. Golden energy, bringing in fame and fortune. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I hope all of you have an amazing day and really give yourself over to some peace, quiet, and solitude. I think it's going to usher in so much amazing energy for you and help with this release, because this lunation is going to be the catalyst that sets you on a whole new direction in your life, one that's really positive. Okay, I'm going to leave that there for real now. Take care, guys. Hello to all my beautiful message 2 choosers. So as I do, I went ahead and pulled the 3 main overarching energies that are going to be very prevalent for you under this new moon, but we will look at them together. Oh, we've got the moon's moment and synchronicity. So something about divine timing coming into play and paying attention to the synchronicities happening around you this week, and probably the following week as well. Again, I say it all the time, but the lunar cycle doesn't just, start and end on the day of it. The energy of that lunar cycle lasts longer. Ooh, okay, Yang Moon. So we're talking about some masculine energy and cultivating strength. Here, coming on the side of challenge. This almost has that vibe of if things have been really difficult or crunchy, as I like to say, for you guys lately, my message 2 choosers, you're being asked I think to stay as centered as possible, stay in your power, and cultivate as much strength so that you don't miss things, synchronistic things that are going to be coming your way. I kind of think that's a thing here. Moon goddess, higher power. So you've got yin and yang energy showing up here. So needing to stay balanced, because we've got moon goddess, divine feminine energy, higher power. So there's some higher power at play. There's synchronicities coming your way. God incidences. Is that how you say that? I messed that up. I butchered that. Coincidences that are not really coincidences. They're sent by the divine realms, trying to help you, trying to guide you, trying to show you where you need to be looking, moving to what you need to be moving towards, and noticing. So I think it'd be a really good idea for you guys to do some work on your heart and solar plexus. You're to center yourself as much as possible. Maybe even just full alignment meditations, especially under this lunation, so that you do not miss the higher power that's coming through, bringing you in these synchronistic energies. It feels serendipitous. You don't want to miss it. And I don't know why, but I get the feeling that some of you have been through some difficult things, challenging things. And that's really hard. It's really hard when we're in challenge and difficulty to find our center and, be present and actually be open to noticing things that are being put in our path that are going to be good for us. So I feel like that's your biggest ask under this lunation. And I feel like this isn't going to just be this week. I feel like this is energy that's going to carry on for you into the following week as well. But let's see what else comes out with that. I've mentioned it in my intro and I mentioned it in message 1, but I've been finding this Mercury retrograde. Mercury is connected to communication, has really been affecting me. So I do apologize in advance because I seem to be stumbling over my words a lot, or just losing words and dropping the ball with that altogether, but I'm trying my best. Surrender to non-action. Yeah, busy. I feel like a very serious energy for a lot of you. So it's sort of like that. It's good to be vigilant, but it's like hyper vigilance, right? Really doing, really being busy. I think because there's this underlying fear. If I'm going to drop the ball, I'm going to miss something. Interestingly enough, though, this is showing up as surrendering to non-action, pausing a little bit to recalibrate, to realign, to gather strength within you and connect to this higher power energy. This lunation under Scorpio is so good for receiving intuition, connecting to the divine, to their wisdom, to their guidance, to our passed on loved ones. It's such a good time for that. You're no exception here. Message 2. It says, now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. Yeah. Cultivating strength and power. Really work on that solar plexus at this time here. Message 2. A lot of us are being asked to go within under this lunation to make space for that. On the bottom here, it says surrender defensiveness. I definitely get a strong-willed energy for some of you who chose this message. You're strong, you're a leader. You are really good at having your hands in a lot of things and balancing many different things at the same time. So a good multitasker. And that can make us more abrupt and defensive because we're used to getting it done. Like you're that person that gets stuff done. That can make us get into this energy of anger and frustration and defensiveness, right? Because we're working so hard and we're overexerting ourselves. I feel like that's what this underbelly message is for you. But by ebbing back and recalibrating yourself, something comes through from a higher power that's going to start to line things up for you so that your situation moves with a lot more flow and ease. Okay. Let's pull something from here for my deep dive cards for you guys. This is such a good week for receiving. See, this is what I'm talking about with this Mercury retrograde. I can't talk. Receiving divine downloads. And I definitely think this is true for you guys too. Ooh, find closure. Celebrate achievements, acknowledge growth, and release any baggage. Fulfilled intention. Wow. I've not pulled this card before. Celebrate achievements, acknowledge growth, and release any baggage. Yeah, that release any baggage, right? Where we feel disempowered or Maybe we're operating from a pattern or a system that's kind of fear-based. So we're always like that hyper vigilance, going, doing, moving. There's something about that energy that needs to be quelled and quieted so that you can step back and notice how well you've done, all the good things that you've done, everything that you've worked so hard on that led to where you are, even if you're going through difficulty. And understand that you're coming into a time where I feel like there's an opportunity for more ease and flow in what you're doing so that you have more time for you. But first, we must create the stage for that, right? We need to get sorted. We need to get into our power in a balanced way. I mentioned in my intro, it's not the best time for difficult conversations. And for some reason, I think that some of you might be feeling like you need to have the hard conversation right now. Give yourself time to get sorted and centered first so that it's well received, whatever thing you might need to communicate. And do give yourself time to celebrate the things that you've been doing, the hard work, the things that you feel you got right. I don't care how small it is. That opens us up to more positive energy being shipped our way when we're in gratitude and things. But what are you holding on to? Is it a way forward? Is it a vision that you feel has to look a very particular way in order for it to manifest? Because there's some closure that needs to happen here. Because you've got fulfilled intentions. Your good intentions will be fulfilled, but I do feel like they need a little bit more flexibility to really see liftoff. And you need to be more open to the things being put in your path that are going to help with that. These synchronistic things are lining up for you. But if we're so busy, you'll miss them. Okay, I won't beat that dead horse anymore. But they're going to be showing up for you this week, I feel here, message too. So pay attention to signs and omens. And okay, that card flew out. Things of that nature coming your way because it's likely going to be somewhat subtle. But I also just think meditation will provide answers for you too, right? Because she's there with her eyes closed. It looks like she's got a unicorn horn on her, connected to her forehead on her third eye, suggesting that you have the potential to connect to a vision, an idea, something heaven sent. Okay, so first card out. Okay, emotional influence and phase entanglement. Be mindful of the company you keep. And, I will say that this week, because it's this lunation is in Scorpio and we have a Mercury retrograde going on right now, there could be gossip, there could be annoyances and people behind the scenes that are not coming from a place of integrity, and you may be caught up in it. And I feel like this is your heads up to step away from it. If you've already been in it, you don't have to engage this anymore, because I think it's tying up your energy as well. Because look at this, it's like gossip and that mean girl energy. You don't have to be a part of the drama, releasing yourself from it. I feel like this has already happened for a lot of you and you've been having a difficult time navigating it. And I really do feel here, message to you, you don't have to be a part of this. Thought vibrations, resonant choices, and signature signals. Thought vibrations, synchronicity coming through for you. Really, really can't say it loud enough for you, message to make space for this connection, and do whatever you need to do to get yourself back into balance so that you don't miss these things coming your way. It's going to look like divine downloads, subtle messaging, things being put in your path that could easily be dismissed as coincidence. Nice. Partnerships, contracts, and commitment. Synchronistic people, I think, are going to be put in your path. Helpful people. Better than this kind of energy that you've had to experience or be dealing with. Were people who aren't necessarily coming from a place of integrity. The healing heart. And it's in the reverse. The healing heart. And it says love, acceptance, and romance in the reverse. So maybe have we been putting love and romance on the back burner? Has there been difficulty with that? And there's been an entanglement there where you just can't sort out a situation in your love life and it's causing you a lot of grief and pain. Coming back to the synchronistic thing with partnerships, contract, and commitment with that beautiful green jewel energy shining up for you. There's a healing here. There's a new person here. There's a big shift that wants to happen for you guys this week. And it will make all these kinds of energies better if we're open to it. It's on the offering. Okay. So we've got prophets and ancient seers in the reverse. And it says decisions, predictive guidance. If it's upright like this, it's suggesting that we've created space for this and that we're on point. It's in the reverse, but we already see that here, right? We've got this girl with that unicorn horn on her third eye, suggesting being able to see the truth and predict outcomes and know what to do as a result of it, not missing the beat, staying in our power. Big ask for you, because there's still a little bit of energy around. You may just kind of keep going the same way that you've been going, and miss these things. So this is your big heads up. You can change this outcome. You can really connect to the truth. I think that you will. I want to say, I really do think a large percentage of you are going to have a massive intuitive hit, divine download connection of some sort. What you do with it's going to matter, though. I feel here for my message twos. Either way, Spirit really highlighting it's time to get to embody this energy and create space for it. Open up your line of thinking. Be willing to put thoughts and feelings aside for now, especially if they're hard and heavy ones, and just say, okay, I'm open to the wisdom and guidance, even if it's not what I want to hear. I'm going to assume that sometimes we hear what we need to hear and not what we want to hear. But coming from that place will set your directions and all the things that want to line up for you in the best way and much quicker, I feel, for you guys. Yeah, but there's some hard and heavy human energies that you've been dealing with. Again, whether this is in love and romance, or it's affecting your romantic life, or it's with people that you work with or friends and family of that nature. You don't have to engage with the people that are bringing you down, that are causing tension and bringing in drama. There's a lot going on here for my message twos. I feel. All right. And that fine closure card, releasing baggage. I hate to say it, but I just want to be honest. For some of you, I think it's people. Maybe having to finally make a decision. Yeah, these are not my people. This is not my tribe. Do I feel really good when I'm with them? Do I connect to the way that they are and the way that they show up? Probably not for a lot of you. And it is sometimes better off to be alone for a time than it is to be with the wrong people. I really think that's a thing for some of you. I almost wonder too if some of you have people or situations in your life that are actually negatively affecting partnership for some of you, and it's time to really look at that. Oh, like friendship. Success, knowledge, friendship, impatience, freedom, and optimism. When chances present themselves, seize them and do something out of the ordinary. Whether in your professional or personal life, you will find success by welcoming creative impulses and having faith in your own abilities. Trust in chance and take risks on opportunities that could change your life for the better. I love that. Friendships. There is somebody synchronistically, I think, that's coming your way here, message 2, that's going to help you. That's going to make, I almost feel like, restore your faith in humanity to some degree, where you just haven't had that kind of a person around, and they're going to be really beneficial. But I do want to say, and please don't shoot the messenger, I do get a little bit of tunnel vision from a lot of my message 2 choosers. Busyness, hypervigilance, kind of like just really going, doing, moving, kind of holding onto some heavier, harder energies as well. You really want to let that go. You really want to make space to release those energies and be more open for this flow and synchronistic energy to show up, because it's coming for you in a big way. And this is saying, when chances present themselves, seize them and do something out of the ordinary. And it says whether in your professional or personal life. And I do think there's 2 things going on here. I definitely feel that professional energy, but I also think it's personal for some of you. This is an emotional energy for some of you in your circle of people. Either way, yeah, I would say heed this advice. Maybe even take a snapshot of that card. I feel like that's really good advice on that card. And, of course, pay attention to 0s and 5s. 5s are connected to change. So change is coming in. And 0 is God force energy, saying, essentially, these are divinely orchestrated changes. They are like predestined events that are going to show up for you, but you do have the free will to say yes or no to them. And they feel quite good for my message 2s. Okay. Let's cap this off with just a couple. Okay, 1 card flipped over. I'm going to go with that. The festival creates an energetic blueprint for a fantastic party or event, new connections and commitments and energy. So, that could be a little bit of a heads up if you're invited to something where it's a social event kind of thing that you should probably go. Creates an energetic blueprint for a fantastic party or event. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like networking and socializing is going to be a good idea for you guys too. Once we've sorted ourselves out, start with sorting your own energy out first so that you're in a good place to receive people, to be open-minded to things that could show up for you. Another card fell out for you guys. Breaking bad habits. Self-acceptance, excellent mental health, and letting go of vices. Yeah. Finding closure, letting go of the baggage over there too. Anything that stops you or thwarts your growth or keeps you in a place of frustration, hurt, pain, knots. I do think for some of you, it's connected to the company you keep. But for others, yes, breaking bad habits. What holds you back? What ties up your energy? What keeps you stuck, low, or not in the best energetic space that you could be? Giving yourself over to saying, okay, I'm at least open to starting to try to release some of these things or people or places or situations. Because I think for some of you, it's broader than like, smoking or vaping or, food, alcohol, whatever, though it could be for some of you. But starting here and kind of strengthening up that solar plexus area, getting into alignment and networking this week. And actually, maybe even the following week, where this week you're working on you and you're strengthening your core. You're getting yourself aligned. You're saying, okay, I'm open and available to a new way. I'm ready to be in more flow and adapt and move away from drama. And then the week that follows, you'll start to see these synchronistic events show up in your path. Hopefully that makes sense what I just said. All right. I'm going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful day and really, really give yourself over to surrender and non-action. Find space for peace. I think you're going to be shocked at what it brings through. Okay. Take care, guys. Hello, message 3. All right. So I went ahead, as I normally do, and pulled the main overarching energies that are be showing up for you guys at the time and in and around this new moon. But we are going to look at them together. Howl at the moon. Process your feelings. Okay. So much of this lunation is bringing in an opportunity to really have that final release and connect into our intuition, to understand ourselves better, to not take it forward with us into 2026, I believe. No exception here. Process your feelings. Maybe you're not allowing yourself any time or space to feel what you feel, to understand what you feel, so that you really can say, okay, I see you, I feel you, I'm allowing myself this time to process everything that's happened so that I can then move forward and not take it with me. It definitely feels like that. For some reason, I'm wondering if some of you have had to deal with some heartbreak. To take what resonates. I don't think that's going to be for all of you, but like heartbreak when it comes to love or romance, I think it could be a thing for some of you. Now we've got dark side of the moon and it says mystery. So it's embracing the unknown, being willing to say, even though I don't know how things are going to turn out or the direction that this is going to take me, I'm going to big fat do it anyways and move towards it. I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway. That's the message with this one, but it's been a challenge for you, right? And likely because we're still holding on to a lot of emotions and feelings because we're not allowing ourselves to really feel them. It feels like such a must for you guys. Now we've got Quicksilver Moon and it says changes. Yeah. So this is what Spirit wants to bring in, positive changes, but we must be willing to move towards the mystery of it all. Even though we don't know how it's all going to turn out, we have to be willing to lean into trust that these changes are going to be for our betterment and going to be just what the doctor ordered, essentially. But it's something in our emotional body that is blocking us from saying yes to walking into the unknown, where all that beautiful rainbow energy is and beautiful changes await. What are we holding on to emotionally? I definitely think for some of you, it has something to do with love. Maybe it's about, for some of you, even allowing a new connection to come in. But more broadly, this could be falling into any category of your life where I think you've been burned or hurt. And it's really now creating this big block for you to move forward into a new direction. Okay, surrender defensiveness. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear, non-defensive response. And you know, this lunation isn't the best to communicate because we've also got Mercury retrograde going on. So defensiveness would make more sense that would be showing up, but it's saying process your feelings, right? So if we can understand what is behind why we feel defensive, the emotion, the thing that was, you know, the wound that was touched and pushed on that created the defensive mode in the first place, we can't come out the other side of it. And I feel like that's the opportunity for you. If you don't feel like you can communicate in a way that is going to be helpful or beneficial, where you're actually speaking from a place of truth and heart rather than defensiveness, you don't have to engage in this conversation just yet. Give yourself time to process your feelings first, because then you'll bring in that beautiful change where there's like these rainbow type blessings showing up as a result. Yeah. I wonder too, like, have a lot of you really been in your head, overthinking, almost like obsessive thinking and what if energy, and just replaying a thing or a situation over and over in your head? If that's the case, again, there's an emotion behind why we do that. For some of us, it could be like, I can't stand the idea of being duped, lied to, mistreated. That's probably going back into your history as a human as to why that really, really irks you. I'm saying like this, I think you literally, like as the cards say, need to do a deep dive on these feelings. Blooming mind. When your mind is clear and at peace, creativity blossoms effortlessly, inspired thoughts. So this is what wants to be shipped your way. It's that loud brain that I was just talking about. I really feel that for you guys. A lot of overthinking, almost obsessive thinking. Maybe stop and pause and say, okay, universe, I'm ready to understand my feelings. I'm ready to feel them and allow them. Even if that means I need to cry. Maybe I'm not somebody who likes to cry. Let the tears fall so that they can, it's almost like washing it away, allowing that to happen. This will help to clear your mind by understanding the emotion behind, I feel like, the anger or the defensiveness that you might be more comfortable with. That's usually a learned behavior. It's safe for me to show up angry and ready to fight than it is for me to be vulnerable and open and say, you know, you really hurt me. I felt duped. I felt betrayed in some kind of way, no matter what it is. Because this is going to ship, you know, in clearing that from away from your mind, it's going to bring in inspired thoughts and new ideas, these beautiful changes, right? That you, if you're in this energy of holding on to these kinds of heavy feelings, we're not going to be open to embracing the unknown and going in a new direction and trying something new, or even being open to healing a situation, a relationship that's ready for the next step. An up-leveling of sorts. We're not going to trust it. We're going to bring all that baggage with us, and then it will never truly change. Hopefully that makes sense what I'm saying. Because I definitely think there's two things going on here for my message 3 choosers. I do keep coming back to, I feel like a lot of you, there's a healing that could happen in a relationship if we let go of what's happened and we really make peace with it, and we choose to let go, let God forgive, and move forward. And for others, we're holding on to a lot of pain and hurt from the past. That's legitimate. It's all legitimate feelings that we haven't processed these feelings. We haven't completely understand them, like given ourselves over to understanding them, so that we can then let them go and move forward and not be afraid to keep our hearts open again and trust again and invite new situations in again. Instead, we're operating from a system of always feeling like we have to be protecting ourselves. I definitely am feeling that energy for my group 3s. Freedom in the reverse. And it says, if it were upright, moving on and letting go, we're really having a hard time with this, with these emotions. That's just a reiteration, right? This is what we want to get to, feeling free again, to move on, to embrace the unknown, to move into new territory where there's much more beautiful energy waiting for you. Ooh, animal totems in reverse. Okay. Animal energy and powers. Okay, so if this is showing up in the reverse for you, it makes me feel that some of you might have had some sort of animal messenger show up for you, might not have noticed it, or you might have fluffed off their message or thought it was too much of a coincidence or that can't be. It was. Call in your animal spirit guides right now. So if this is showing up, it's because you would really be benefiting from their energy. You may feel it. You might feel connections. You might receive messaging through the animal kingdom. Be open to that. Take the time to stop, pause, and say, oh, what does it mean when you see an owl, right? What is that? What's that trying to tell me? What's the message? They're coming in for you right now, but I feel like they've been coming in for my message threes, but you've not noticed it or fluffed it off, or maybe there was even an opportunity to call it in and you didn't. Either way, it's in the reverse because this is something that you should be utilizing, calling in, paying attention to. They're going to be speaking really loud to you this week. Soul expression and something new in reverse, creation, processing. You're all under processing your feelings, right? This is the big stopper in your life, this emotional body, this frustration, this anger, this hurt, this pain that you're holding on to. But something new really wants to show up. Creation, soul expansion, and something new. Embracing mystery, changes. Moving on in freedom. Strong message for you guys. There's a massive opportunity to shake all this old and heavy energy up and be done with it. And there's an offering for that kind of thing to show up for you this week. Wow. Okay. Ancestors in reverse. Historical connections and purposes. Message 3. You have a lot of spiritual energy available to you this week. Everybody seems to be having that, which makes sense with it being in Scorpio. But in particular, calling on certain ancestors, the animal kingdom, to speak to you, to bring you signs and messages, really important. And these are both in reverse because it's suggesting either you haven't been doing that, or maybe you tried once or twice and it didn't work out, or you've missed the connections that they've been making and just passed it off as nothing. Go back and revisit if that's true for some of you. But for others, just give yourself permission to allow these things to come through. I'm open to the wisdom of my ancestors. I'm calling in my animal totem, my spirit guide animal, any animals to show up on my path, to teach me, to show me the way, to help me process my feelings and embrace the changes ahead. They're here to help. But, because they're coming out in the reverse, I feel like they've tried and it didn't work. Okay, currents of emotions. Upright, it's saying uncontrolled feelings and currents of emotions, but it's coming out in the reverse, which I'm loving for you guys, suggesting that you are very likely going to be able to sort your emotional body out, to really release and let go, so this is no longer affecting your situations. You have a lot of growth, expansion, and opportunity showing up for you this week to be rid of this and move in a much better direction with beautiful changes. But just make sure that we're mindful that we're not going to engage in conversations, especially hard ones, if we're not feeling quite ourselves, if we feel like we can't let our guard down a bit and be a little bit more open, so that the positive energy, change, and shakeups that want to show up can actually show up. But I love that that's showing up in the outcome position in reverse, because it's definitely suggesting that you're quite capable of this, and it's very likely, if you follow the advice here, that you're going to snap out of this energy and finally be rid of it, be able to move forward. But really be open to ancestral spirit coming through for you, to animals acting as messengers and guides for you, whether you call them in or they just show up. Ooh, I just want to say I was going to put these cards down and I was going to put them the wrong way. And it was beneath the surface, hidden truths and something unknown. Upright, that lets you know that you don't have all the information, but it's upright like this, suggesting you're about to. I almost wonder too, if something hasn't happened for some of you, and there's a little bit of a heads up that it could feel destabilizing, it could cause wounds and stuff to really be activated, almost make you feel like, I can't believe that that's what the truth of the situation. I feel betrayed in some kind of way. And your opportunity is to not engage with defensiveness, but to sort yourself out before you engage so that you can show up to the situation and really, move through it in the best possible way. I almost feel like I'm moving on for some of you because of it. Both like literally for some and metaphorically for others. Look at all those fours. That's the angelic realm. Okay, it says benefits, culmination, results, benefits, reflection, and completion. Take stock of your accomplishments and how you arrived at them. This is a reminder to maintain optimism and drive toward your goals. Maintain your momentum and know that the powers of heaven have your back. You made it. And the reward goes to you. Oh, wow. So message 3, once you've released these heavy emotions and moved through any turbulence, whether it's happened or not, massive reward and benefit for you. It's like, give yourself that pat on the back. Inspired thoughts are going to come through, beautiful changes that you're meant to embrace. And that heaven having your back. 4 is the number of the angelic realm. So I feel like not only do you have the guidance and love and support of the angelic realm coming through really strong, you've got the ancestors and the animal totems really coming in strong for you. You're definitely being divinely guided this week. So I'm just going to say it again. Just be really open to that guidance. And it says you made it. Sort of like you moved through all the hardest, heaviest things and you got to the other side. Time to embrace the next thing. Mystery of life in the most beautiful way. Framing it that way. It's going to be really awesome for you guys, I feel. I almost have like butterflies in my chest, but like the excitement. Feeling quite good. That's a lot of cards there, so we're not going to take all those. Ooh, safe and happy travel. Protection from harm when journeying. And interesting because the mystery card is very much connected to moving into a new direction where our whole life course and path can change. And we're really open to the new things coming away. I feel like that's a big part of the equation here for some of you, rather than it literally being travel, though there will be a percentage of you where you're getting a green light to do that. And you are being protected. It's like you can let your guard down a little bit, right? Especially once you process those feelings and really be open to embracing this new way forward. You are protected in doing so. Protection from harm when traveling. When journeying, it says. Happy love. Wow. A joyful, stable partnership and good friends. Oof. I was definitely feeling that like love energy and having had a hurt heart. There's opportunity for new love and a new start in a relationship when the air is cleared and the feelings are processed and we show up ready to be responding and listening with an open heart vulnerably rather than defensively. It feels really good for you guys. Like so many things coming into better balance and so many new starts for you. A joyful, stable partnership and good friends. Love that for you guys. Yeah. And this is the catalyst moment for you under this lunation. So much offering an opportunity for this massive change and release. And then this is what follows, right? This happy love, feeling yourself again, ready to be moving towards new things with a sense of trust and knowing that you're safe in doing so. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful day. And really give yourself over to sitting with your feelings. I just feel so important for you guys. Okay, guys, take care. Hello, message 4. So I went ahead and pulled the main overarching energies as I do, just to save a little bit of time in the video, but we're going to look at them together. Moon cycles and patience. Needing to cultivate some patience under this lunation. Ooh, moon maybe, intuition. Needing to listen to your intuition because this is coming on the side of challenge, suggesting that maybe you haven't been. So you've probably received already some thoughts, inspirations, ideas, nudges of some sort. Maybe you just have been ignoring them. But this is also a very good lunar cycle for up-leveling our intuition and having it expand without us even having to do anything about it. So I would absolutely recommend making some space for maybe some meditation or quiet reflection. I often recommend people sitting with a journal and just seeing what comes through, because you're likely to receive a lot of divine wisdom and downloads at this time. Nice. Moon dance and celebration. You've got a couple on there. So there might be something for you and a partner to be celebrating at this time. Or there's going to be cause for celebration coming up for you quite soon. Things coming into harmony. I'm really noticing those music notes as well. Something harmonious. Making things feel softer and easier. But, because patience is the main card here, there's definitely a message here to try to embody patience and not push on anything or try to force something to happen before it's ready. And your intuition is going to guide you through that and show you how to navigate that, I feel. But feels quite light and good for you guys. Let's see what else comes out with that. It's funny. I've seen this card before, and I'm noticing those white horses in the background of this card. And horses are connected to freedom. So there's something that's very freeing, or will bring in freedom, I feel, for you guys in some kind of way. But again, you need to cultivate patience to get to that energy. Like ships coming in. Okay. So that flipped right over. So we're going to go with that. Surrender to passion. Get out of your head and feel the fire in your belly. That's that horse energy of freedom. And I think of wild horses running across the plains, wild and free. There's something about that for you guys. Sorry, I'm going to start that over again. Get out of your head and feel the fire in your belly. Focus on the people or activities that ignite your passions and let it flow. This is all that energy that will lead you to that celebration, something to celebrate. We're really feeling connected to ourselves, our soul, our center. I think even, for some of you, this could lead to a passionate love of sorts. For those of you that are single, or even maybe like an ignition of passion in an existing relationship. But, as this says, people or activities that ignite your passions as well. So I do think for others, it's definitely career related. So lots of layering here. And on the bottom, it says surrender to inner peace, right? Makes sense. Get out of your head. Finding peace first, because when we get to a place of peace, we're connected to our intuition and we feel like really good and solid and strong in what we're receiving and then the wisdom that's coming through, we absolutely open up the door to celebratory energy, positive shifts, and passion again, right? It always starts with that peace energy. Okay. Maybe call in the horse as a spirit guide for you right now. Help ask the horse energy to help infuse your energy with that feeling of I can do and be anything. I am wild and free. Unknown path. Accept uncertainty and welcome unexpected adventures with courage. Uncharted journey. Woo! And I'm still coming back to this energy for some of you. That unknown path could be connected to a person, especially if you're single and new love coming through. But for others, it's genuinely an unknown path filled with passion and inspiration. It's very connected to your soul and your purpose. And you're being asked to move towards that. So where we might be pushing, not having patience, maybe even wanting to make certain decisions that aren't the best for us, but we're just tired and frustrated of waiting on something or for something to happen, I feel like be mindful of that. Accept uncertainty and welcome unexpected adventures with courage. Uncharted journey. Yep. Be open to something that feels even better. It's sort of like that energy of dare to dream bigger, like you would have when you were a child, where you don't put any parameters or filters or reality into the equation, where you think you can be anything that you want to be. It's like that. Okay, I am going to pull some more cards here for you guys. There's something about being seen here that I feel for you guys, and I do feel like I need to mention it. So I wonder if some of you hold back a little bit too much, or maybe you're more introverted in nature, and so you're not one to really put yourself out there in particular ways or kind of be more assertive. There's something in that messaging that I feel like some of you need to hear, that this would be a good time for you to be that. Okay, I'm not going to go with all those. That's too many. But definitely look at where you're being impatient, where you're tempted to push on something or make a decision around something, even though you might know it doesn't feel the best for you. It doesn't ignite the passion and inspiration that you'd like it to. It's like not settling. Okay. Wow. This card has showed up like through all the readings, and it's connections, and it says partnerships, contract, and commitment, and it's in the reverse. Yep. There's definitely something to this love energy, this connective energy, celebration. Maybe some of you could be just completely frustrated with the lack of movement in a connection, and you're kind of feeling like, am I wasting my time here? I feel like the answer is no, again, because we've got patience as the main energy. But for others who have felt like you've been really lacking in this department, connecting into your intuition and in finding that peace and igniting your inner flame and fire is really going to usher this energy in towards you, where you're going to have reasons to celebrate. You're going to feel really good about it. We've got journey guide. My goodness. We've got uncharted journey, and now we've got journey guide in the reverse. Travel, change, and location in reverse. So maybe things that you were hoping for, wanting to do, places you wanted to go, new things you wanted to try were not possible for you before. Like the timing just wasn't right. Nothing was moving, nothing was shaking. It has a lot to do with where we settle and what we choose, and where we're not aligned but choosing anyways. I feel like this is going to shift for you. That challenging part is almost over. Isn't it interesting too with all the hands here? We've got one hand going this way and the other hand going the other way, and one coming up. Helping hands is coming to my mind. There's helping hands, people around you. Helpers, people, helping hands. Something about that. But yeah, you're definitely meant to be moving into uncharted territory with like a fierceness and a passion behind it. Love this. Okay, Archangel Raoul, justice, harmony, and solutions. Yep. This is what's at hand for you, right? If we're going to be cultivating some of that patience, not pushing too hard, not settling, solutions appear, harmony comes back in, everything gets made fresh again. He's holding those scales too. That makes me think of Libra energy. And Libra energy is very connected to relationships as well. So there's definitely something to that here for some of you. This is definitely like love related for some of you. Balance, centered energy and self-care, justice, harmony, solutions. Yeah, we need to find our way back into that balance, that peace. Again, not settling for anything less, maybe not running away either from something for some reason is something I'm also considering, because you feel like it's not moving fast enough. So just be careful of that. That's not going to resonate with all of you, but I definitely think that's a thing for some of you. Animal totems, man, animal energy is coming in powerfully this week with this lunation. So animal totems upright, animal energy and powers. Pay attention to the animals that cross your path. They're acting as divine messengers and guides. And again, I feel that horse energy. I think that's going to be one for somebody out there. But on this card too, we've got the leopard, the elk, the owl, a hawk, and a fox. Any one of those could be speaking to you or be worthy of you looking at what their messaging is. Either way, pay attention to the animals showing up on your path. They're acting as guides for you. They're going to help you to cultivate patience in the best possible way, so that you don't settle for less, or that you don't give up on something that you've been trying to improve or work towards because it's not moving quickly enough. You have reason coming your way to celebrate. And it feels so light and so exciting, and like it just lights you up from the inside out, because it really is aligned with you, whether it's a person or a situation. Okay. Alignment. Yeah, alignment just keeps coming to my mind too. Alignment is on the offering. It's coming in. Patience required. And accepting uncertainty. That's showing up a lot too in all these messages. Being open to the mystery, framing the new thing that we can't quite predict of how it's going to turn out as exciting and adventurous rather than scary and unknown. (1616) recovery. Okay, mercy, diplomacy, potential, service, recovery, adaptability, and renewal. It is a confirmation that your assumptions and beliefs are correct. Intuition, right? In the challenge position, not been trusting yourself. But is also an encouragement to use your talents and gifts because they will benefit the world and your pockets. Wow. Be of service to others. Your potential is enormous. But something has quelled that passion. Pay attention to 1s and 6s, but also 7, because in numerology, they reduce down to a 7, which is a very spiritual number. Yeah. Things want to shift for you in a very big way. It's been a journey. It's been a minute. It's been slow. But very soon you're going to have causes to celebrate. But it really does hinge upon whether you're surrendering to your passion and what ignites you, what really lights you up from the inside, and not settling for less. And again, for others, I still have that strong feeling that this has to do with new love coming in for some of you. Yeah, be of service to others. Your potential is enormous. Yeah. Do not second guess what you can bring to the table, what you offer, what you're capable of. It's that, again, don't settle for that low-hanging fruit or sell yourself short in any kind of way here. Message 4. On the bottom is 0440. So God force energy. 4s are stability and strength, but also connected to the angelic realm. And it says prosperity, achievement, success, striving forward, prosperity, go-getters, courage, and luck. And it says, wow, significant events are on the cards for you. You will progress in your endeavors and gain new experiences. The right people and resources will be put on your path. An excellent proposal or change is coming up. You're destined for greatness. Holy cow. Message 4. That's beautiful. I love this for you guys. And I feel like, it has been a minute since you felt like anything good or positive could have been shifted your way. Sort of like that feeling of success and everything moving in a positive direction for you in a timely manner has always just been outside of you. Like you can see it, but can't touch it. I feel like that's about to change, but we still need some patience here. Okay, I'm going to cap this off with a couple more cards. I'm still going to stick to my guns that for some of you, I feel like there's this other message here that a new love is going to show up. And it could be that this new love drives such a passion and heart opening within you that they in turn help lead you to this new way of feeling and being in your life, where you're almost like, I feel like the sky's the limits now. This person supports me and levels up my confidence and my belief in myself so much that I can't not go after what it is I really want. That leads me into these energies of prosperity and living my passions and purpose. Oh, okay. So I got a card that fell out. I'm going to have to pause and pick that up. Okay, so this is the card that fell out for you. It wasn't face up, it was face down. And it says self-confidence, strong self-belief, and a sense of worth. Yep. That I've said it so many times. I promise this will be the last time I say it, but there's something about worthiness here, what you believe you deserve, whether this is person or following your passions, what really lights you up. Start here. You are worthy of everything that you want, and it wants to come to you. Strong self-belief and a sense of worth. Yeah. That whole don't sell yourself short or settle. Such a huge underbelly driving message behind this the entirety of this whole message. And you really need to be trusting your intuition and your nudges. Holy cow, successful career. happy working environment, pay rises, and promotions. Whew. Patience. Patience to see your ships coming in, making sure that what you're doing lights you up from the inside out. Potentially new people coming in for you, where they ignite this in you and it leads to all this energy over time, but needing to be patient and not settle for any low-hanging fruit, or settle for less than you deserve because you feel like you don't have a choice, because the energy of everything I've ever wanted has always been just on the outside of me. I can see it, but I can't touch it. This is shifting in a big, big way, but you've got a lot of success that wants to come your way. Patience. Toe the line for some of you. Keep going. Keep your energy up and that passion and drive motivated and going, because it's going to lead you to beautiful things. And for others, patience to see that what you want wants you back, and that you're not meant to settle, and choose what lights you up again from the inside out, because it connects you to so much prosperity. And I do feel like for some of you, it's not just in finances and career success. I do feel like it's in love for some of you as well. All right. I'm going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful day. Take care, guys.